So welcome to Chapter 3, Lesson 2. And this chapter is called Estimate Products. So after scanning the lessons, some things that we'll be doing will be rounding, estimating, and since it is multiplication, we'll be solving multiplication problems. Since it says products. A product is an answer to a multiplication problem. So the real world link, skateboarding. The record for the greatest distance traveled on a skateboard in 24 hours was set in a recent year by James Peters. He traveled about 7 6/10 miles per hour. So we're going to plot 7 6/10 on the number line. So we have 7, 7.5, and 8. If 7 5/10 is here, then we're going to say 7 6/10 is going to be to the right of it. Number 2, what whole number is 7 6/10 closest to? So a whole number is a number without a decimal. So it's just without a decimal, no fraction or anything. So we have 7 and 8, and based on my number line, 7 6/10 is closer to 8. And I also know that since 6 is greater than 5, so 5 or greater, then it goes up, 4 and below it goes down. 6 is greater than 5. So we're going to round up. It says estimate how many miles James Peters traveled in 24 hours. So his estimated miles per hour was 8, and we did that for 24 hours. So we're going to have 8 times 24, which is 192. Is your estimate higher or lower than the actual distance he traveled? Explain. So this is going to be higher. The reason is, since we rounded 7 6/10 up, our actual answer would be lower than 192. Number 5, a new record was later set by Ted McDonald. He traveled about 10 1/10 miles per hour for 24 hours. About how much farther did Ted McDonald travel? So if it was 10 1/10 miles, we're going to round this to 10. Because 1 is 4 or below, so we're going to round down. 10 times 24 equals 240. So if he did 240 miles per hour, or 240, and the other one was 192, we're going to subtract that and say 48. So Ted McDonald traveled about 48 miles farther. So we're going to move on to page 186, and on the top of the page, it says estimate products using rounding. So this right here is going to be our set of rules with estimating and rounding. It says to estimate products of decimals, round each number. First, underline the digit to be rounded, then look at the digit to the right of the place being rounded. If the digit is 4 or less, the underlined digit remains the same. If the digit is 5 or greater, add 1 to the underlined digit. After rounding, all place values to the right of the underlined digit have 0 value. So we're going to explain that with example 1. So we have 8 7/10 multiplied by 2 8/10. So we are going to underline our digit, 8. And we're going to look at the digit to the right of the number being rounded. So we're going to look at number 7. 7 is greater than 5 or greater. So we're going to add 1 to my underlying digit. So 8 and 7/10 is closer to 9. And 2, we're going to look at the 8. 8 is 5 and above. So 2 is going to become a 3. So 8 and 7/10 is closer to 9. 2 and 8/10 is closer to 3. So we have 9 times 3, which equals 27. Example 2, estimate 42 and 6/10 times 37 and 2/10. So we're going to go ahead and round these mentally. 42 and 6/10, that is closer to 43. And 37 and 2/10, is that closer to 37 or 38? Since it's a 2, we're going to say it's closer to 37. So we are going to multiply 43 multiplied by 37. So I'm going to do it over here showing all my work. So 7 times 3 equals 21. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 2 is 30. So this 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. Since this is in the tens place, this is 30 times 3, so that's 9. 3 times 4 equals 12. And I'm also going to add a placeholder. And we're going to add. So it's 1951. So our answer is 1,591. So go ahead and try the got it. So press pause in the video until you finish A, B, and C. So here are my answers for the got it. A is 20, B is 12, and C is 1,400. Before we move on, I would like to put a little stronger focus on C. If you notice with C, we have 68 and 4/10 and 21 and 3/10. Our numbers, our largest value is in our tens column. We have the 6 and the 2. All of our previous problems, like in B, we had 4 and 3. Those are in our ones place value. But now that we're moving to the tens, that's when we're going to estimate even higher. So 68 and 4/10, is that closer to 60 or is that closer to 70? It's going to be closer to 70. And 21 and 3/10, is that closer to 20 or is that closer to 30? So we look at our number 2, and 1 is less than 4, so it's going to go down. So 21 and 3/10 is closer to 20. So 70 times 20 is 1,400. So moving on to example 3, a Greyhound bus can travel 39 and 3/10 miles per hour. At this speed, about how far can a Greyhound travel in 6.5 hours? So we're going to look at the phrase miles per hour. This means that in every hour, the Greyhound bus travels 39 and 3/10 miles. And we have to find out how far it can do in 6.5 miles, or hours. So we have 39 and 3/10. And is that closer to 30 or is that closer to 40? We're going to say that's going to be closer to 40. Now 6.5, is that closer to 6 or is that closer to 7? Since it's 5 and above, we're going to say it's closer to 7. So in 1 hour, we can travel about 40 miles. So if we have 7 hours and we do 40 miles per hour, we're going to multiply because we need to do this 47 times. So 40 times 7 equals 280 miles. So in about 6.5 hours, we can travel about 280 miles. So we're going to look at example 4. Suppose $1 US is equal to 5 8/10 Egyptian pounds. About how many Egyptian pounds would you receive for $48.50? Round to the greatest place value to make it easier to compute mentally. So 5 8/10, is that closer to 5 or is that closer to 6? It's going to be a 6. 48 and 50 cents, since the 4 is now in the tens place, we're going to say, is this closer to 40 or is it closer to 50? And we're going to say it's closer to 50. So we're going to multiply 50 times 6. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 5 equals 30. So $48.50 is equal to about 300 Egyptian pounds. Now go ahead and pause the video and try to do D, E, and F. So here are the answers for D and E. For D, we have 18 and 6/10 is closer to 20. 4 and 8/10 is closer to 5, so 20 times 5 equals 100 miles. For E, 4 and 8/10 is closer to 5, and 3 is a whole number, so I'm just going to leave 3 alone. So it becomes 5 times 3 equals 15 kilometers. Now for F, we really need to focus on what the question's asking. It says a king palm tree can grow about 2 1/10 feet a year. Estimate the height of the king palm tree in yards after 15 years. Now we're seeing similar phrases. It says feet a year, kilometers per hour, miles per second. So like miles per hour, these all tell us that we're going to be multiplying. But going back to F, I have 15 as a whole number, so it's going to stay the same, and 2 is closer to 2. So I'm sorry, 2 1/10 is closer to 2, so it's going to change to a 2. So I have 15 times 2 feet equals 30 feet. But the question's asking, estimate the height of the king palm in yards. So we have to make sure we convert our feet to yards. So I know I have 30 feet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a ratio. So we should know how many feet equal 1 yard. So we have 1 yard equals 3 feet. And what this does is anything next to each other, we multiply, and anything that is under each other, we divide. So the 2 feet, so 30 feet and 3 feet, the feet are going to cancel each other out. Because you do feet, 1 foot divided by 1 foot, the units cancel. So now I have 30 times 1 yard equals 30 yards. And then on the bottom, we have 3. So now we have 30 yards divided by 3. So 30 yards divided by 3 is going to give us our final answer of 10 yards. So we're going to move on to example number 5. Patrice has $20 to buy 5 binders. Binders cost $4.29 each. Does she have enough money? Explain your reasoning. So if she wants to buy 5 binders, and it's $4.29 each, so if we're estimating that $4.29 is closer to $4, so if we do 5 times 4, that's going to give us $20 exactly. But since she only has $20 and we actually had to round down, she actually does not have enough money. So we're going to say no. We rounded $4.29 down to $4. And Patrice only has $20. Five times 4 equals 20. so she does not have enough. Or you can go with the book answer. The actual cost is between $20 and $25, so Patrice does not have enough money to buy the binders. And those are the notes for Chapter 3, Lesson 2. So if you have any questions, let us know, and thank you for watching.